This week, a brutal campaign is waged against the indigenous people of the New Mexico Territory. Elsewhere, the Union and Confederate armies clash, again, both hoping for the complete destruction of the other. Overshadowing the brutality of battle and war is the cry for freedom, loudly ringing as the Confederate citizens have had enough, and the Union moves towards abolition. The first action this week is something I could have covered last week, the Battle of Cañon de Chelly against the Navajo. After we left him, Colonel Kit Carson with a column of men had camped outside the canyon. The hope was to starve out the Navajo, since the numerous slopes and complicated layout of Chelly would make an Indian ambush far too dangerous. Many Navajo had surrendered, but there were still holdouts. Carson had to go in. Not personally, it's perilous, don't you know? But his men. One column under Captain Pfeiffer made a mistake. Before they knew it, hundreds of warriors were upon them. Badly shaken, they returned to Carson's camp. Satisfied with the ordeal, or missing his family and scared of the enemy, Carson puts the final holdout of Barbanchito Muerto to siege, and pillages undefended Navajo food stores, homes, and ranges. His men cursed the ground, ensuring vegetation would never spring, ready to ensure anyone who wouldn't submit would die. Satisfied with the destruction of Navajo land and receiving the surrender of the third Navajo partner, Barbanchito's brother Delgadito, he turns towards Fort Canby, a job well done. Now for the 16th. The Department of Kansas, opposing Kansas, Nebraska, and Indian Territory, is given to Major General Samuel R. Curtis. Curtis has been a strong abolitionist for at least as far as I can remember, which led to conflict with his previous command in Missouri, but Kansas is the right spot for him. Now for a rematch on the 16th. Last year's final battle was Mossy Creek, where the Union repulsed Lieutenant General James Longstreet in a cavalry clash. This year's battle starts when the 4th Corps, under General John Parke of the Union, moves to Dandridge, Tennessee to forage for food. Longstreet takes this as a threat and sends 2 divisions to confront Parke, while also carrying on in case the Union is fainting him out. He senses a great opportunity and sends his cavalry to destroy the Union. Federal General Samuel D. Sturgis won the Battle of Mossy Creek. Upon learning of Longstreet's movement, realizes he has an excellent opportunity to destroy the Confederate cavalry. He sets up an ambush for General Martin, Longstreet's riding buddy. The planned double envelopment fails as one column accidentally meets with an infantry division. This Union force falls back under the threat of General Micah Jenkins' force. The other column meets with the Confederate cavalry under the direct command of Longstreet, who forces the Federals back. Sturgis retreated into the comforting walls of Dandridge. The Union plan fell apart. What happened? Has Longstreet been reinforced? He hasn't, but he has no intention of showing weakness, instead planning an assault for the 17th. Through the fog, rebel sharpshooters move into position, and at noon, the Confederates advance. The Union holds off the advance of Longstreet, playing to natural terrain advantages, keeping the secessionists from reaching Dandridge. And at night, the Federals pull back. Longstreet can't pursue. He lost 150 men to Parke's 100. His opportunity to break a corps failed. The next day, throughout North Carolina, Confederate citizens come together to protest the conscription laws. The rebel government had taken their husbands, fathers, and sons. What have they got in return? Destruction and starvation? Next up, the continuation of a siege. Mobile Bay, Alabama, has long been threatened by the Union Navy. It's only been able to keep us away through the 2 powerful forts of Morgan and Gaines. If Mobile can fall, blockade runners will lose one of their most important ports, and the Union could open up another front, forcing the diversion of rebel troops from their already stretched lines. It is no wonder that men like Major General Ulysses S. Grant wants an assault on those forts. And on the 20th, the first step towards such an assault are taken: reconnaissance. Now for a significant movement towards freedom. In Little Rock, Arkansas, a pro-Union constitutional convention is held, and the energy in the room is patriotic. They pass a resolution denouncing both the evils of slavery and the Confederate States. On the 20th, Lincoln wrote to General Frederick Steele, who leads the Department of Arkansas, to hold an election at once and legitimize the anti-slavery resolution. With this election and the new constitutional convention, Arkansas is very close to readmittance into the Union. With all the excitement of Arkansas and the anger in the Confederacy, Unionists in Tennessee decide to keep the freedom enthusiasm in the air, convene their own constitutional convention in Nashville with the hope of ending slavery. The final thing this week is from the Department of the Ohio. Due to the scarcity of wheat, Major General John G. Parke bans the distillation of whiskey. Oh my lord, the tyrant Lincoln has done it. He has taken away our most fundamental right as Americans, to get wasted in a forest. Sickles' time. He's waiting in D.C. There's been whisperings of opportunity. 1864 is a new year, and refreshment of command is well overdue. But can Sickles seize the moment? Of course he can! That's where the week ends, and the huge takeaway of this week is from Arkansas and Tennessee. Tennessee was the last state to secede from the Union and the first to return. Military Governor Andrew Johnson, executive of Tennessee, personally asked Lincoln for exemptions from the Emancipation Proclamation, but his state no longer wants slavery. Then there's Arkansas, which was deeply anti-Union, but the failure of the Confederacy changed a good portion of the populace's minds. Last week, we saw the end of slavery proposed on a national level. This week, it's on a state-by-state level. What a great way to kick off the year. Hello, it's the entire Civil War Week by Week team here, and I would like to apologize for this week's episode. I know in advance, in front of all of the editing and post-production stuff, that it just won't hold up. And I'm really sorry. I do hope to see you next week, though.